All right, let's take this further. We're joined in studio by SABC's foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, it looks pretty bad. I mean, how divided is the Pan-African Parliament?
Well, they are quite divided. You know, every time when they converge, there's this issue of Francophonie and also Anglophonie, where you have certain regions based on the language and they speak. They tend to work together or perhaps support each other. For example, you heard earlier on there when Malema was talking about why all the time these countries, you know, particularly countries that are in the West and also in the North, are working together to ensure that every time the candidate that is presented from those countries is the one that is being elected to be the president of the Pan-African Parliament. Now, I know that many countries are saying that because the Pan-African Parliament headquarters is in the southern region, in Southern Africa, SADC, particularly South Africa, therefore the countries in these regions cannot be the leaders of that important legislature. But unfortunately, when you look at what the general intention of the African Union, the Organization of African Unity was, it was to ensure that Africans are united. But now, clearly, they are not united. And therefore, when you say the southern region cannot lead the Pan-African Parliament, are you saying for life? And therefore, when others are saying, let's come up with a solution, let's rotate, they don't want. And unfortunately, again, you find a situation where former leaders are trying to influence the outcome or perhaps the result. We know that the former president of the Pan-African Parliament, the outgoing president, he was embroiled in a lot of allegations of corruption and also a lot of accusations around him not being able to run this institution properly. And there has been that tension from those who have tried to call him to order and him defending himself and also mobilizing particularly those who are from ECOWAS.
Yeah. Well, tell us more. The Ghanaian president addressed the Pan-African Parliament. How did the message land?
He did call for unity, indicated that as a founding father of the Pan-African Parliament, he was there as a foreign affairs minister when the Pan-African Parliament was launched. The intention is to unite the continent. You can unite the continent at the heads of state and government level, but if you don't unite the continent at ordinary people level, but also not using members of parliament from different countries to work together to have one voice on issues that affect Africa, you won't be able to achieve a better Africa. And now, unfortunately, these divisions also affect the development of the continent. He did try to convince them. Dr. Naledi Pandor, who is also the Minister of International Relations in South Africa, who was also part of the formation of the Pan-African Parliament, also emphasized that. Thandi Modise, the Speaker of the South African legislature, the big parliament, did indicate that the members of Pan-African Parliament must be united. You know, Thandi Modise is a former member of the Pan-African Parliament. So we don't know. Tomorrow, we expect the members of the Pan-African Parliament to do their work, elect the Bureau, including leaders at the higher level. And unfortunately, you can see now somebody is trying to derail the whole process.
So will the voting actually go ahead, do you think?
It has to go ahead. It will be an indictment on all members of the Pan-African Parliament if this doesn't happen. If they can't elect a leader of the Pan-African Parliament, how can they expect ordinary citizens in their respective countries to elect them to be members of parliament in their respective countries? I think they have to lead by example. And I think the lecture of Thabo Mbeki yesterday by one of the African scholars who's in London spoke to this issue of Africans themselves. Stand up and make your voice heard. Don't allow leaders on the continent to do as they wish. We've seen in some countries, young people in particular, standing up and fighting. But unfortunately, you have senior people doing what they did today and perhaps what they will do tomorrow.
All right. Well, the foreign team will follow that for us, the election scheduled in the Pan-African Parliament tomorrow. Thank you very much to our foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena.